Hey everybody, Alex a Critic here, and unfortunately, it's once again time to step back into the retarded world of Magical Girl Friendship Squad. Of course, because it's been a quarter of a year since I last reviewed an episode of this show, I'm gonna need to summarize everything that's happened in the story up to this point for those of you who are only just now tuning in. Editor, you know what to do.
When we last saw our intrepid protagonists, Alex and Daisy had just saved the Earth from sentient mushroom parasites that latch onto the bodies of their hosts and fill their brains with depressing thoughts so that they could, in their eyes, help their hosts become better people. How did they defeat them? By opening up a portal to a random dimension. A solution which is heavily implied to have genocided the species by accident.
Hey everybody! Childbirth is bad! But genocide is good!
During their battle, Alex and Daisy were forced to confront their insecurities and work with one another to dispel them. The episode then ended with Daisy gaining newfound confidence in herself, and Alex finally going on a date with the guy from the coffee shop that she's had a crush on since the first episode. As for the big bad that our protagonists are supposed to have spent the entire series up to this point learning to defeat in battle, they hardly showed up in the episode, and we learned next to nothing about them, giving us less than 30 minutes worth of screen time to find out what their motivations are.
No! So, will the writers make up for the discrepancies in their plot in this episode? Lord help us, I pray that they do. Let's start the review.
Episode 5 begins in Alex and Daisy's apartment, which is much messier than it was the last time we were here. In fact, it's so messy that a whole family of cockroaches flees from Nut after she kicks some trash that's been sitting on their living room coffee table. Of course, when Nut brings this up to them, Alex says that their home looks perfectly fine, while Daisy says that it actually looks neater than usual.
Nut, should you really be entrusting the safety of the entire world to two midwits who can't even be bothered to keep their own rooms tidy? Also, how has it taken you this long to address their messiness? Shouldn't this conversation have happened a long time ago?
Anyways, Nut proposes that Alex and Daisy clean their apartment by using a chore wheel to determine who does what. They take this about as well as you would expect.
No fucking way.
Wait, yeah, why should we have to vacuum? It's your fur all over everything.
Well, let's think about it like this, Alex. Do you think that your crush would like it if he saw what kind of a condition you allowed your own apartment to be kept in?
Many times must I remind you about my lack of thumbs.
And yet you can make a chore wheel.
You know, all I'm really getting from this scene is that all three of these characters are entitled pieces of shit who would rather leave their problems with other people to deal with. How does this endear me to them again?
Daisy rebuffs Nut's offer and walks off, prompting Alex to tell her to calm down, as if this were somehow a beyond-the-pale outburst from her. Which is news to me because Daisy isn't acting any less abrasive than she usually does.
Daisy, growing up, you were angry that your parents demanded your participation in the Church of the Savior's unthinkable torment. Now, you instinctively rebel against authority.
You forgot to explain why that's a bad thing in this instance, Nut.
Whose fault is that? If I'm angry at anyone, it should be you for making such a fucked up world!
Counterpoint, Daisy. Literally all of the things about life that you love, you know, the drugs, the women, the trashy TV shows, were also created by Nut. So I'd shut that whore mouth of yours if I were you. Like, All this woman is asking you to do is clean your room. She's not even forcing you to use the chore wheel. That was merely a suggestion. Why are you being such a stuck-up bitch?
After Daisy's little temper tantrum, Alex suggests staying home so that she can take care of her friend like the little baby she is. Nut, however, urges her to attend a so-called female empowerment conference that Aggregon is hosting, as it's a prime opportunity to uncover more information about how Aggregon is hoarding energy from the Earth.
Why do you always have to tell me the plan I helped come up with?
Because you're a lazy, incompetent jackass who can't even be bothered to kill the cockroaches that are infesting your apartment. Got any more stupid questions, lady?
Thinks she knows everything just because she's a talking panda.
Well, she's also the creator of your universe, so wanna go ahead and finish my thoughts for me, Cooney?
Stupid! You're so stupid!
For not only, absolutely do not drink this, Alex and Daisy, even if we have an argument and you want to get back at me. Weirdly specific. This'll show her.
So, I wanna laugh at this joke, but there's just one problem I have with it. Why the fuck does Nut keep this dangerous substance in the fucking pantry? You're really telling me that the creator of this universe couldn't find a more suitable place to hide it? Furthermore, that the only safeguard she put in place to keep people safe in case it was found was a fucking post-it note?
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Ooh, I'm not. And I know everything about Daisy. She's so predictable just because her parents made her go to bed at 5 p.m. to shield her from the gaudiness of street lamps.
You know, I'm really starting to miss the talking mushrooms from earlier that made Daisy feel bad.
If I just made the world a little better, Daisy could have been totally different.
Yeah, because it's not as though you, a fully grown adult with free will, have any capacity to do something fulfilling with your life. Basic accountability is for suckers, am I right? On the bright side, this scene does show that Daisy is aware of how big of a piece of shit she is, so maybe the story of this episode will center around her finally taking steps to become a better person. Let's watch and see where this goes.
Daisy takes a sip from the tea she's just brewed and...
Holy shit! Did Daisy just erase herself from existence? Hallelujah! Now this means that she won't ever get to bother us with her petty bullshit ever again! I'm loving this episode already!
We smash cut to the Women's Empowerment Conference, which is being held somewhere. Yeah, not even the show's setting is properly established. Anyways, Alex walks up to the sign-in booth that Corvin is running, where the following interaction takes place.
Hi, Corvin. I thought this was only for female employees.
It's called being an ally.
To be fair, that is the same face that I would make if somebody said that to me in real life too. So good job, Alex.
You'll need to sign up now for your afternoon elective. Do you want the workshop on pitching your voice deeper to be taken more seriously, the seminar on the most slimming power poses, or speed mentoring?
Speed mentoring?
2 minutes each with higher level female execs, and since there aren't that many, a few male execs' wives.
Yeah, where's the sex work booth? That's the only female empowerment that I'm interested in.
Alex chooses to attend the Speed Mentor event, after which Corvin hands her a mountain of paperwork that I assume she needs to fill out before doing so. Making me wonder how any female can take the time to empower themselves if they're stuck filling out all this shit. We then cut back to... oh no... Daisy, who sits up and holds her head in confusion.
God damn it. It looks like she didn't erase herself from existence. Well, there is still a possibility that she could improve herself as a person throughout this episode's story. So let's keep our hopes up, guys.
Ugh. Where's all my stuff that I keep on the floor? It's on the shelves? Gross.
Because nothing screams hero like someone who is disgusted by the very concept of basic cleanliness.
Alex? Nut?
Hey, sleepyhead.
Ah! Somebody who's drawn in a more appealing art style! Take her away! Take her away!
Hey, random hookup.
Very funny. It's me, Pansy, your monogamous live-in girlfriend.
Oh my god. Nut's magic tea made me basic?
Oh no, Nuts Tea gave you a much more fulfilling and stable life. The horrors. I'm sorry, but I'm still holding out hope that this is all a final hallucination that Daisy's brain is cooking up as she painfully passes away. Hey, you stole that joke from the Halloween special that I made for your channel, you ungrateful hack! Huh? Was that the sound of someone who wanted to catch another ass-whooping? Duh! One day, someone's going to stand up to you, Critic. Mark my words. Yeah, well, it looks like today ain't that day. Anyhow...
Daisy's girlfriend, Pansy...
Oh God, I just figured out the joke about her name.
...takes her to meet Daisy's parents, who, in this universe, live in an apartment just across the hall from theirs, and whose normal lifestyle had a positive effect on how Daisy turned out. We then see this alternate version of Daisy's parents, who are...
There's our favorite girl.
Who wants Arnold Palmer's?
Yeah, that.
So we eat lunch and then do a vlogging circle as punishment for nourishing ourselves?
No, silly. We play Scrabble.
You're a riot, daughter whose kooky sense of humor we fully appreciate.
Oh God. This must be the same universe that BoJack Horseman takes place in, because these characters are talking more like writers who are reading out the beats of their plot instead of like people. Also, the flogging sounds much more interesting than this. Can we see some of that, please?
Wow, you're really normal.
Wow, nothing gets by you, does it, Daisy? Also, in her ideal world, she would be in a traditional relationship. I know that being gay isn't traditional, but I'm referring more so to the monogamous aspect of her relationship. And would have been raised by a traditional two-parent household? That's a surprisingly based implication for a cartoon that leans heavily to the left.
Back in the... I'm gonna call it the normal world, Nut walks into the kitchen and discovers that Daisy has drank the mysterious liquid that she warned her not to. Frustrated by this development, she sits down against the wall and...
If it isn't my long-lost sister, Gloriana, just calling to catch up.
Whoa. Pause. Firstly, these gods communicate with one another via jewels that are on their foreheads? Jewels that need to be touched before communication can take place? That's incredibly short-sighted and inefficient. I mean, what happens if their arms are incapacitated? Secondly, Nut has a sister? Why hasn't she mentioned her to Alex and Daisy before this point? How can the gods of this universe even have relatives? What kind of metaphysical rules is this place governed by? More importantly, why hasn't Nut's sister done anything to help combat the malevolent forces that are out to destroy them? Let's see if the writers actually answer any of these pressing questions.
Tell me what you need.
My human guardian drank the last of my teleportation tea, and now she's stuck in your copycat world.
Wait. Our protagonists can only teleport to the world of Nut's sister by drinking a special kind of tea? Why? isn't not an all-powerful god who can create and jump to other universes using only her natural ability? What makes this universe immune to her powers? That aside, why would Nut need to teleport to her sister's world if she can just speak to her telepathically?
It just raises too many questions.
Can you please find her and give her your tea to send her home?
Ooh, I'm kind of slammed today. Fine, I'll offer the tea, but I won't force her to take it if she prefers my world to yours.
Nut? Why don't you just tell your sister that Daisy is the guardian of your Earth and that you need her to be back there so that she can fight off the malevolent forces that are threatening to destroy you both? I'm sure that would convince your sister to return Daisy.
Must everything be a competition?
Must everything be a competition?
We are not doing the copycat game.
We are not doing the copycat game.
Okay, love you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, so there's the answer to my previous question. It's because Nut's sister is an even bigger asshole than she is. Good to know that there is now another character who will annoy me to no end.
So what are your goals?
I just want to keep making that cash money, right? Speaking of goals, what do you know about Aggregon that may or may not be public information?
Alex, if you're not trying to be found out as a mole, you're doing an awful job of it.
The First Lady clarifies that she was talking about Alex's personal goals, and points out that Aggregon will freeze their employees' ovaries for free in another room at wherever this conference is taking place. This weirds Alex out, but before she can say anything else, Corvin forces her to move on to her next mentor, where I'm sure she won't say anything else that's suspicious.
Hi there. What do you know about the company's energy research?
Have you frozen?
Dear God, it's like this idiot wants to get caught or something.
Have you frozen your eggs yet? Not that this company isn't great for working moms. They gave me 2 weeks of maternity leave and then replaced me with another woman and brought me back as her assistant. So, more jobs for women?
You know, this scene implies that Aggregon only uses progressive talking points as a front in order to force women into more oppressive roles, and that women will only lead fulfilling lives if they get married and stay at home to raise whatever children they give birth to, which, again, is a surprisingly based message for this left-leaning cartoon to be teaching.
Corvin forces Alex to move on to her last mentor of the day, which is this tall brown woman with short gray hair and a purple business suit. Alex, seeing that she's currently typing on her phone, apologizes for interrupting her, only for the woman to hand her a black business card telling her not to. She then hands her another business card, which asks Alex if she's enjoying the conference, to which she gives this answer.
I guess. The free egg freezing sounds cool. Or like the company's trying to get us all to put off having babies so we can keep working here. Right?
You know, that complaint would only make sense if this show were trying to say that child rearing is a good thing for women to engage in and is in fact preferable to being a worker, which is way too based of a message to be what these writers are trying to say. No, the message that they're probably trying to get across here is something along the lines of capitalism bad because some companies have terrible business practices, or women should be free to do whatever they want with their lives and suffer no consequences for whatever choices they make.
Alex, is it? Let me give you some advice. Being a woman in a man's world means making sacrifices.
Oh, totally. I was just joking about...
You're in the outrage department, isn't that right?
Yeah. My background's in programming, but...
Yes! Not only is the show holding to plot points that were established 2 episodes ago, but we finally found out what it was that Alex was doing with her life before the events of this show took place. This is the kind of decent character writing that I was waiting for. Let's see if the writers can keep it up.
Sounds like you're being underutilized. You know, the most important aspect of leadership is squeezing all you can out of your employees. They're the best resource in the world.
Never mind. They went straight to making the obvious bad guy act obviously evil.
Thanks. I mean...
Move along.
Oh god. And now they're having the obvious bad guys leave hints of their evil doing right in front of the hero's face. It's no wonder that Alex put no effort into hiding her true intentions while visiting this place, because the villains are far too stupid to catch on to her act.
Oops, sorry. BRB, bathroom break.
You cannot be serious. Alex intentionally knocked over this woman's purse while feigning that it was an accident with the worst acting that I've ever seen, and she not only knew which item she needed to steal despite not knowing beforehand which of the items would be of the most use to her, but she did this all in front of the woman's face without getting caught in the act?
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Nut.
And of course, Alex didn't think to clean her clothes beforehand so that she didn't wind up leaving any evidence of her investigation in the hands of her enemies. Truly, these writers are the masters of crafting believable conflicts. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but can we go back to Daisy? I was much more invested in what she was going through.
Luckily, we cut right back to the perfect world, where Daisy comments on how good it felt to hang out with her normal parents. She asks Pansy if she wants to go out for drinks, and Pansy reminds her that they were going to be watching a TV show together. Daisy reluctantly agrees, and while flipping through the channels on their flat-screen TV, she catches the iconic suspension scene from the first Mission Impossible movie.
Alex and I made up this action movie drinking game where you drink anytime anyone does anything that would hurt in real life. Fair warning, you get fucked up.
You know what else would be a fun drinking game that would leave you fucked up? Taking a sip anytime anything happens in this show that doesn't make any sense from a storytelling perspective. You would probably only make it halfway through the first episode before dying of liver failure.
Oh, we have to follow the schedule.
Okay, jeez.
Wow, Daisy backing down from an argument? Now I know that this is a dream world.
Who's Alex anyway?
Nobody, I guess.
Ha! I love how Daisy has been in this world for at least half a day and is only now beginning to wonder where her real friends are. Shows how much she cares about them, huh? And no, her asking for Nut and Alex at the start of her trip doesn't negate my point, because she forgot about them pretty quickly once Pansy showed up.
Anyways, Daisy hears a knock at the door and jumps at the chance to go check who's arrived. She opens the door and comes face to face with a red panda who's taller and more muscular than Nut is. Daisy nevertheless mistakes her for Nut because she's an idiot, and the red panda informs her that she's actually Nut's sister. The two then have the following exchange.
Nut as a sister?
Who do you think created this superior universe? Fun fact, in my world, red pandas aren't endangered.
And that fact makes your world superior how exactly? Also, why are you taking on the form of a red panda? Nut said that she has to take that form on because her powers are severely limited in the world that she occupies.
In your world, I am merely a helpless red panda with limited access to my own powers.
So, are you bound by these same restrictions? Or are you choosing to take on the form of a red panda while visiting this world you've created so that Daisy will have an easier time accepting that you're Nut's sister? I'm never getting an answer to any of these questions, am I?
So Nut's special tea brought me into a universe you made?
And my special tea is the only way to send you back.
Yep, I should have known.
We smash cut back to Nut's world. Wait, we're going back?
No, let us stay in the dream world. That plotline was slightly more engaging.
Ugh. Anyways, we smash cut back to Nut's world, where Alex uses cartoon logic to zip past the women standing in line at the Yukon egg freezing room and spy on one of Aggregon's doctors, who looks like a grown-up version of Libby from the Ghost and Molly McGee for some reason.
Oh, and if you're scoffing at my cartoon logic explanation, then watch the scene for yourself. Yeah, there's no other way to explain how she did this without getting caught.
Moving on, the doctor in question puts a vial filled with some woman's eggs in a rack that's sealed behind some glass. Right below this display is a sign warning the general public to stay out of what's a restricted area, and Alex uses the card she pickpocketed from the brown woman earlier to slip into what turns out to be a door, which of course wasn't guarded by anyone. Wait, what?
I may not have been to the gynecologist in 4 years, but I'm pretty sure this is not how freezing your eggs works. And there it is.
Okay, this is now the second time that Alex has been able to break into one of Aggregon's secret laboratories with minimal effort. Why do the bad guys keep letting this shit happen? Did they learn nothing from the last time that Alex broke into their shit? If I didn't know any better, I'd say that the bad guys actually want Alex to discover all of this stuff so that they can try and lure her to their side by appealing to her worst vices. Which, now that I think about it, would actually make a pretty compelling twist.
We once again smash cut to Gloriana's world. Here, Gloriana gives Daisy a sales pitch about her world, which we may as well give a listen, just to see how stupid her points are.
Nut thinks she's so great, but her universe is hideously flawed. Look at your Looney Tune parents, or those fish that look like Ted Cruz's face.
Fair.
Firstly, like I said earlier, Nut created everything in life that Daisy likes. Hell, Daisy only exists because of Nut, and she only has the capacity to be swayed by Gloriana's arguments because of Nut. So how does this make Nut a bad guy? Apparently it does, because the miracle of life isn't enough for Daisy to give Nut her due. Secondly, your world also has suffering in it because Pansy was emotionally distressed when Daisy suggested that they do something that wasn't on their schedule. So oopsie, there goes that argument. Speaking of Pansy, what exactly is she doing throughout all of this? The creator of your world has shown up at your front door and is talking to your girlfriend. I would think that you'd want to be a little involved in what's going on here. Thirdly, the blobfish actually doesn't look like that. It only takes on that appearance once it's been removed from its natural habitat. So congratulations, Gloriana. You are just as stupid as your sister.
Here, there's no pesky free will, and everything's perfect.
Wait, there's no free will? But then, why did you have Pansy reject Daisy's offer to go out for drinks? Wouldn't you want to give Daisy everything she wanted in order to sell her on the idea that your world is better than Nuts? Why do you want Daisy to stay in your world anyways? You have no attachment to her. Is this some sort of power play? Are you doing this to spite your sister? Is there some kind of foreigner quota you're trying to fill? Also, how do you know so much about Daisy that you're able to create what she considers an ideal world? Does the knowledge of these gods extend to other worlds that were created by entirely different gods?
It just raises too many questions.
Oh, and keep in mind that Gloriana would have to have known what was going through Daisy's mind at the exact moment that she teleported to her world in order to be able to create her ideal world. Yeah, that's something that we also don't get an explanation for.
No offense, but I'd rather have parents who don't get me than ones who are basically robots. At least in Nuts' universe, I get to decide if I want to obey the chore wheel.
That is a fair point that shows some humanity within Daisy, but technically, she was given the choice to go out for drinks with Pansy. The only reason that she didn't get to do that is because she heeded Pansy's wishes, and we didn't get to see what might have happened if Daisy insisted on going out with her. So even when Daisy is making a reasonable point, she makes it in the stupidest way imaginable.
Oops.
Oh, you're not leaving so soon, are you?
Okay, so this is just a power play then. At least this does answer the question of why Nut doesn't ask Gloriana to help her defeat Aggregon.
We smash cut to Nut's world, where Alex tries to leave a voicemail telling her what Aggregon's up to, and that she needs her help to stop it. Before she can finish her voicemail, however, Corvin finally discovers her and calls her out.
Well. My new hire is some kind of social justice warrior mole. I knew there was something fishy about you when you failed to participate in tie-dye fried eyes.
Yes, that was the only warning sign that Alex displayed. She didn't leave any other hints that there was something fishy about her. No other hints at all.
Technically, I didn't participate because tie-dye fried eye is stupid.
How dare you!
Alright, that was kind of funny.
You knew the company was making these things out of employees' eggs?
What? You mean to tell me that the obviously evil character was behind this villainous scheme? You don't say. Next you're gonna be telling me that 2 + 2 = 4, or that the Earth is round.
Did I know? Honey, whose initiative do you think it was? And you go-getter gals have been donating eggs all day! Have fun!
So, were they trying to make Corvin act as stereotypically gay as possible in order to make fun of gay people? Or are they so incompetent that they wrote a gay character in a way that would be seen as offensive to the very group of people that they're trying to pander to?
Both is good.
After this admittedly nice piece of animation, where the egg monsters burst through their chambers and choke Alex, we smash cut to Gloriana's world, where she and Daisy are engaged in the lamest game of capture the flag ever.
I mean, you couldn't at least try to bend reality to your will in order to make it harder for Daisy to catch up with you, or at least to show how powerful you and Nut truly are? At the very least, that would give the viewer something cool to look at, but nope, just have the character prance around the apartment like a little girl. That works too, I guess.
Normcore Daisy sucks.
Did she really just use the phrase normcore?
He doesn't even have a non-magic bong.
Classic nut to give random humans magical powers to protect her.
So, does Gloriana not know about the world-ending threat that Nut is fighting? Or was Nut lying about how big of a threat Aggregon is? Does Gloriana just not care that there's a big bad out there threatening to destroy her universe because she's an asshole? I mean, I know that she's a villain, but it sure would be nice to know why she's a villain, writers.
I'm not a random human. Being Nut's guardian is my destiny.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Nut literally chose you and Alex to be her guardians at random because she heard you recite quotes from John Wick.
And Alex, can I just say, Lulu can try me. I watched John Wick 2 last night, and I'm fired up. Ha! Kick, 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 Chun-Li!
Oh, I love that movie. Daisy, look. I once killed 3 men in a bar. With a pencil. You come after my dog, I'll kill you. Anyway, I don't even need a job in programming. Just something simple that doesn't have an awful commute. Something that's in the neighborhood. Come on.
Alex and Daisy. I've found my guardians.
She specifically presented her powers as an offer to you two in the first episode.
So I suppose you don't want to hear about the special powers I can grant you.
Why would she present the guardianship this way if you and Alex were always destined to be her guardians? In fact, when you and Alex pushed back on her offer, she questioned the two of you about your combat prowess. Prowesses? Prowess.
We can't protect the universe. We can barely take care of ourselves.
I used a W-2 as a pad last week.
But you are warriors. You said you killed 3 men with a pencil.
What?
How could this have been your destiny if this all-knowing God, who presumably has been keeping track of the 2 humans who will be her avatars, didn't know a thing about you? Now, some of you may be tempted to try and refute my point by bringing up how Nut specifically referred to the guardianship as their destiny.
This is your destiny, and yours alone. And if you don't fulfill that destiny, then your universe, and everything in it, everyone you have ever loved, will die.
However, this came after Nut explained to Alex that she couldn't just pick someone else to be her guardian because her connection to her own powers is severely limited on Earth.
In your world, I am merely a helpless red panda with limited access to my own powers.
Hell, she even said this once Alex and Daisy rebuked her for the 3rd time.
I guess I cleaned my butthole for nothing.
This heavily implies that she could have picked someone else, but she settled on Alex and Daisy because she's an idiot who can't tell when somebody is joking about something. 2, this all came after Daisy and Alex had already accepted Nut's powers.
Now, each of you must choose the object that will activate your powers. You must carry this object with you at all times.
Fine. I'll pick my birth control. It'll remind me to take it.
Obviously choosing bung, sell it.
Not practical.
Meaning that they could have walked away from their supposed destiny if they really wanted to. The whole destiny angle only came about once Nut needed to sell Daisy and Alex on the idea of using their powers for good. In the strictest possible terms, the destiny only started once Daisy and Alex accepted Nut's powers. Furthermore, when Daisy was infected with mushroomanations, they didn't make her feel bad about her powers by revealing that she was never destined to have them. Instead, the only thing they said in reference to her powers was that they were given to her.
Even your superpowers aren't yours.
You have to get them from a magical bong because you're a pathetic stoner with weirdly skinny ankles.
Which, again, heavily implies that their guardianship was pure happenstance. To make a long point short, this means one of four things. Either Gloriana is an idiot who can't tell why Nut needs guardians. Nut is an idiot who didn't tell Gloriana why she needs guardians. Gloriana is a scumbag who is in league with the villains and wants them to destroy all life as we know it. Or Daisy is coping big time because she can't stomach the fact that the only reason why she has powers in the first place is because Nut is a terrible judge of character. Any one of these routes would make zero narrative sense, but we have to see which route the writers will take before I offer any explanations.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hit an adorable fuzzy panda. That's like the first sign of being a serial killer.
You already genocided a well-meaning race of sentient mushrooms, doomed an entire room of people to have their emotions sucked dry and turned into robots, and chopped up the body of an innocent barista who was possessed by a weed monster. You are already a serial killer. Who are you kidding?
Destiny? Did Nut tell you that? Free will means destiny is bullshit. Nut lied to you to get what she wanted.
Did she really? Because, once again, she offered her powers to Alex and Daisy and only brought up that it was their destiny to be guardians after they already accepted. Not only that, but she was pretty open about why she needed guardians, and everything that she's been having Alex and Daisy do up to this point has been in service of those goals. The only lie here is that Alex and Daisy were qualified to be guardians in the first place.
You know what? For an adorable fuzzy panda, you're kind of a bitch. Girl, bye.
Wow, so this all-powerful god who has the ability to create entire worlds was defeated by a mere throw of a cardboard soap bar box? What happened to all of Gloriana's abilities? Like, at least Nut has the excuse that on Earth her powers are limited. Why was Gloriana so easily defeated by a regular human? Oh, who am I kidding? We all know what the answer to that question is. It's because the plot couldn't move forward otherwise.
As we return to Nut's world one final time, we see that Alex has been trying and failing to get a hold of Daisy while dodging fire from the egg monsters. I'm not exactly sure how Aggregon can mutate women's ovaries so that they can take a humanoid shape and fire laser beams from their eyes, but frankly, that's the least of our problems. She unsuccessfully attacks them, but before things can get worse, Daisy pops right into the room?
Man, it sure is lucky that Daisy teleported into wherever this room is at the exact moment that Alex needed her to be there. It's also lucky that Daisy knew that Alex needed her and didn't teleport herself to the apartment instead. Plot convenience. For when you need to move your story forward but can't be bothered to put in the effort to do it logically.
Damn, I go to another world for one day and you start a fight with a bunch of... What are these things? Where the hell were you?
Firstly, Daisy's just told you where she's been, Alex. Try to keep up. Secondly, Daisy has just returned from a harrowing trip to an alternate universe in which she should have learned to appreciate the people she has, and yet her first move upon returning was to be an entitled jackass?
What is your goal here? To get everybody to hate you? Because it's working.
After the episode's token transformation scene that thankfully shaves 20 seconds off of the runtime, Daisy attacks the monsters with a laser light show, which is yet another power that she can suddenly use successfully despite never having used it before. She then delivers the most infuriating line in the entire episode.
Oh, thanks for saving my butt, Daisy. I know you probably had your own stuff going on today.
Oh ho 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 ho! Daisy, you are the absolute last person who should be complaining that anybody else is being dead weight. Let's run down the list of all of the things that Alex does for her. She pays her share of the rent.
What are you saying?
That I'm dead weight around here since you're paying the rent.
She saved her a nut from the horny emo midgets in the second episode with her mom things.
This is super fucked up, Alex. What do we do?
I don't know. I can't think with this garbage music playing. I need my Carlos St. Beverly.
Wait, it's working! Your boring mom stuff is killing their vibe! Keep going!
I wish I could. Light a seasonal Yankee candle.
Ew, pumpkin spice gag.
I miss my vision board!
Oh, no.
She constantly bails her ass out whenever she makes a fool of herself in social situations.
Well, the millennial freeloader's a 2B. Might I ask where the rent is, or did you eat it with your avocado toast?
The first isn't till tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so you better hop off our dicks, Lulu!
Whoa there, I think what Daisy means is we will definitely have the rent on time. We respect you.
Good, because if it's late again, I'm slapping an eviction notice on your door as soon as I get my son over here to fix my printer! Hey, millennial!
Oh, fuck, the rent!
Follow my lead.
Do you have my rent yet? Or did you TikTok a picture of your rent and then Instagram it on Skype and then put it on Facebook in between Twitter and...
About that. We were just sitting here, normally, on the couch, not doing anything and being totally normal, and our garbage disposal got all backed up.
Yeah, obviously we can't pay rent until the plumbing issues are fixed. You understand.
We'd hate to have to call 311 and report negligence.
I swear to God, if I was your mother right now.
Boom, baby, John Wick 3.
Coffee dude.
Coffee lady. What's up? Working hard or hardly working?
Working pretty hard. I just started a gig at Aggregon, actually.
Wow! You got an agri gig? Congrats!
Alex is riding this numbskull's limp dick so hard it's coming out of her nose. She can't wait to wife him up and move out of your crusty skid mark of an apartment.
Did anybody hear that? Did someone just say something?
I said, what have you been up to?
You know, same old same.
Wow, you're a fucking loser.
Hey, screw you, man. You're a loser.
Whoa, girl,
sorry,
chill.
I didn't.
What the hell, dude? It's these magical mushroom things. They're talking to me.
Days, I know you're not working right now, but don't you think it's a little early in the day for shrooming?
Not those kinds of magic mushrooms. I'm not on drugs, Alex. I'm sick.
Okay, geez. Then go to the doctor.
You know I don't have health insurance. I mean, I would be included on yours if you hadn't selfishly refused to marry me.
She's joking. I am extremely unmarried, never been married, which is wild because I'd make an amazing wife. Just go to the urgent care where your ex works. Do you want to hang out later sometime? Not sometime. Later?
Sure, that'd be cool.
And she's the only one who has not only gotten a job to support herself with, but is putting her ass on the line to find out more about Aggregon. Not to mention that Alex had no idea where Daisy went and couldn't reach her, thus having no way of knowing that she was busy with something. Daisy is easily one of the most hateable characters in animation history, and her guardianship is a damning indictment of Nut's intelligence.
Called you like 9 times. I've been battling these freaks all alone.
Don't try to use logic on her, Alex. Daisy is too dishonest for that.
God. Anyways, Alex uses her magic birth control to break into the computer terminal that controls the machines which were creating these monsters. She asks Daisy to cover her, and she does so, using her magic bong to shroud themselves in clouds. Alex skates to the terminal. No, I'm not kidding, look! And presses the Y button on the keyboard to empty the deposits from the machines, depriving them of eggs with which to create monsters.
Because of course the villains would make it that easy to disable their machinery. We're 5 episodes into one of the worst written cartoons of all time. You really thought that the writers were gonna put in effort in this part of the story? Get real.
As the machine shut down due to lack of materials, Daisy bids goodbye to the monsters, shooting a green orb from her bong that disintegrates them. A detail I only noticed once I was editing this video. Nice going, animators. She and Alex then step outside the room to give the women waiting outside the 411.
Sorry, everyone. The egg freezer's out of order. Do whatever you want with your eggs. It's your choice.
I'm not shocked that the writers put a pro-abortion message in this episode. Rather, what I'm shocked by is that it took them this long to do it. Also, Daisy just sexually assaulted that woman. Just saying.
With the fight now over, Alex leads Daisy to Nut, whom she called upon when the former couldn't reach the ladder. We then smash cut to a random office at the top of whatever building this episode took place in, where Corbin gives his boss an update as to everything that's been going on. He tells her that he took care of Alex and Daisy, but when she sees them come into view from the vertical vantage point that they conveniently have, she sarcastically informs him of his failure. This leads to the following exchange.
I'll handle her right now.
Don't bother, I will handle it myself. Your incompetence is too great a risk as we near the final stage of my plan. Effective immediately, your contract here is terminated.
But, Virus, I made an army for you. I can do better.
Terminated.
Wow, a character in this show actually did something logical? That's a breath of fresh air. Granted, this woman should have done something about Corbin's incompetence long before this point, and I don't understand why she doesn't just kill him right now in order to prevent him from potentially turning against her in the future, so she's still a retard, but you gotta take your dubs where you can get them.
Shit got wild in there, Nut. Corbin texted Virus about some kind of mutant army and then...
Why are you talking as though you've always known what Varys's name was? I mean, I guess she did learn it from the card that she pickpocketed off of her, but you would think that she'd deliver that information more naturally. You know, go like, "Hey Nut, I found out who the bad guy is. Their name is Virus." Well, whatever. The episode's almost over. Let's see how the writers end it.
Virus? Alex, listen to me. Virus is extremely dangerous.
Hey, Nut. Gloriana told me you lied. We were never fated to protect you.
Oh no. The writers aren't seriously going down this route, are they?
You could have chosen anyone.
Nut, is that true?
Yes, I did choose you more or less at random, but you have proven yourselves worthy guardians.
Not the point. You guilted us into thinking we were the world's only hope.
You put us in danger over and over.
And I still don't want a chore wheel.
It is not safe for you at Aggregon.
Just leave us alone, Nut.
Dear God, they are. Alright, so this dramatic plot point falls flat on its face because Alex and Daisy already know that they weren't destined to be guardians. Nut literally told them that she chose them to be her guardians at random.
So I suppose you don't want to hear about the special powers I can grant you.
And nothing else in the series supports the idea that Alex and Daisy were under the belief that they were fulfilling some kind of destiny. Let's not forget that Alex and Daisy chose to be guardians without hearing out the consequences of their decision first.
You, Alex and Daisy, are my fated guardians. It is now your duty to protect the entire universe.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You didn't say anything about duty. Duty.
We can't protect the universe. We can barely take care of ourselves.
I used a W-2 as a pad last week.
Meaning that they are just as responsible for putting themselves in this mess as Nut is. I mean, they could have returned their powers to Nut at any point in time so that she could go off and choose other people to be her guardians. Nothing in the series suggests that this couldn't be feasible. So this plot point only works if you forget about things that were set up earlier in the series. That, or you assume that Alex and Daisy have the memories of literal goldfish, which, considering the sort of useless bullshit that they've been able to remember earlier in this series...
Alex, this is amazing. If you work here, you can give me so much free coffee.
Plus, I'd finally have a reason to talk to Coffee Dude. What do you think he's always studying? Probably like how to be a artisanal beekeeper.
Snore. You literally only like him because he's a blank slate you can project your fantasies on.
I know. But remember the time he smiled at me?
Also doesn't explain this twist. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate that things are finally starting to happen in this story, and that the writers are trying to make me feel something for their characters, but they've written their story in such an awful way that it just isn't landing with me. I mean, what's next? Is Varys going to convince Alex to join her at Agragon, despite Alex knowing about all of the horrible shit that the company does, by telling her that she can help her fix it from the inside?
Alex?
Oh, hi, Vera.
The position of my executive assistant has suddenly become available, and I'd like to offer it to you.
I'm flattered, but
Before you answer, you should know that Corvin has been let go for his unconscionable egg freezing program. This company hasn't always been squeaky clean. I'm offering you the chance to change that from the inside. Your destiny is still unwritten.
If I take this promotion, you and I can change Agragon for the better.
Of course. Don't you want me as a mentor?
Deal.
Okay, where do I even begin with this? First off, why does Alex suddenly trust Varys? This was her first time meeting her, and she only acted like an obvious bad guy. Alex even directly mentioned to Nut how Corvin was texting Varys about the mutant army he was building for her.
Shit got wild in there, Nut. Corvin texted Varys about some kind of mutant army and
So Varys has to have some kind of involvement with Agragon's schemes, one of which involved kidnapping people with rage bait articles so that they can suck the emotions out of them and turn them into robots, which almost cost the lives of Daisy's parents. Is Alex really dumb enough to think that Varys is against all of the shady shit that this company has been caught doing up to this point? Would she really be willing to save a company that deals in all sorts of evil practices and industries? I mean, I could understand it if Varys had tried to appeal to Alex's dark side, but her literal selling point was, we can make this company good. There's no way in hell that was enough for Alex to join her. How does Alex know that this very conversation isn't some sort of ruse that Varys cooked up in order to get close enough to her that she could stab her to death? If it were, good job, Daisy. You just left your friend in a vulnerable position that led to her death because you got all pissy about information that you already knew.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
And even if this were some sort of gamble to infiltrate the company further, or to buy herself some time to escape from Varys, how in the hell does Alex know that Varys can't see through her lies? What? She meets Varys for the first time, and after directly foiling one of her evil schemes, she approaches Alex alone in a dark alley and offers her a position close to her that just so happened to have opened up? This doesn't strike Alex as being suspicious. Plus, she already let Varys snuggle up to her, so there went that whole escape plan. Oopsie. I'm sorry. I really am. But this ending makes no goddamn sense. This story is broken. And with that, I'm gonna move on to my final thoughts of the episode, because if I keep going, I'm gonna pop a blood vessel.
When I first watched this episode, I originally thought that it was the best one of the show. Sure, the plot was riddled with inconsistencies, and Daisy was at her most insufferable, which is really saying something, but at least the plot and characters were progressed in meaningful ways. As I rewatched it, and thought more and more about how poorly written its major story beats were, my opinion on the episode quickly switched to the complete opposite of what it was. I now think that it's the worst episode of the entire show. Sure, other episodes might have Alex and Daisy doing worse things. Other episodes might have them and the villains doing dumber things. Other episodes might teach worse messages. This episode, however, completely breaks what little immersion I still had for the series. See, not only does the main plot squander what was a pretty interesting premise so that we could see the worst character on the show go through an arc that she's already been through in 2 previous episodes, but the side plot relies entirely on plot contrivances to move forward. All culminating in a finale where the characters make decisions that conflict entirely with lore that was established earlier in the series. It's as if the writers needed our protagonists to be at a certain point on their journey by the end of this episode, since they realized that they only had 12 more minutes of storytelling after this point. So they decided to force that progress onto them by any means necessary. The 2 new characters that were introduced to, Gloriana and Varys, were told nothing meaningful about. One existing as a glorified plot device to turn Alex and Daisy against Nut, and the other being yet another brain-dead villain whose motivations are still unclear to us. We are almost done with the story, and we don't know anything about our main antagonist beyond their name and their position at Agragon. Not to mention that this was the worst episode in terms of the comedy and music. The few chuckle-worthy gags were spread too far apart to make our miserable plot bearable, and half the time, the singers of the songs they played during the fight scenes sounded as if they were slurring their words. Heck, even the animation was a huge step down from what we've previously seen. There were 2, maybe 3 scenes with some impressive visuals, but those scenes A, only lasted for a few seconds, and B, were spread too far apart to make the episode a proper spectacle. There's literally nothing in this episode worth getting excited for. And considering that this is supposed to be the setup for the show's grand finale, that's a huge problem. You writers took characters that I already hated and made them irredeemable. You took a plot that I already thought was stupid and broke it beyond repair. You took everything that made the show horrible and thought to yourselves, you know what we should do? Crank it up to 11. That'll make the viewers care about our universe.
But you know what? At least we've only got one more episode to go through. So if nothing else, my self-inflicted torture session is almost over. I'd say that we should pray that the writers at least finished their story properly, but let's be honest, we're talking about Magical Girl Friendship Squad here. I'm only hoping that the finale offers good mockery material. Until then, I'm Alex the Critic, and I'll see you guys next time.
So, Professor, what progress has our little critic made through my series?
He's just finished reviewing the 5th episode.
That's good. Very good.
Do you want me to drop the news on him now, my queen?
No. Let's wait until he's finished reviewing the last installment. I want the reveal to be as painful for him as possible.
As you wish. I'll keep you posted in case he gets wise to our schemes.